Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. Someone asked the question, how do you deal with land disputes between neighbors? Simple answer is it really depends on whether or not your land or your property was surveyed under the General Boundaries Act or whether it was surveyed under the fixed survey regime. There's a difference. I've done videos on this before, so please check out our archives for more information. But in essence, what that means is under general boundaries, your beacons or the corners of your property or the property line is based on a general estimate. It's not fixed on a GPS coordinate, right? It's based on a generally accepted physical estimation of the boundary overseen by the Ministry of Lands, Survey Department, and accepted by your neighbor. Obviously, your neighbor with whom you share the boundary has to be okay with it. And this is how majority of the land in Kenya, especially agricultural land, is demarcated under the general boundaries regime, if you will. If it's based on a fixed survey, that is based on a particular GPS coordinates, which you cannot dispute. It's mathematics. The number is a number. If someone has a problem with what that number is, a licensed surveyor overseen by the Ministry of Lands Survey Department responsible for your jurisdiction can easily confirm that. So that brings us down to general boundaries. How do you fix that? First option would be to simply have a sit down with your neighbor and agree on where the boundary should be. If the two of you are in agreement, that's as far as it needs to go. If one of you has a problem with what the other is asserting or would like to see happen, in that instance, you would have to go to the Ministry of Lands that oversees your area. They would assign a district or county surveyor. Now, since we're under the county system, they would assign a surveyor from the government to come and assess the boundary and make a determination based on what exists in the maps as they are registered. Again, in this instance, you need your mutation forms or site map, accompanied by a registry index map. I have covered this before as well. Registry index maps can be obtained from the Department of Survey. Each county has an office. If you can't find it in your county location, you can get that from the headquarters in Nairobi. And based on that map, the government surveyor will come to the site in the presence of both parties. If there's more than two parties, because you can have corners that are shared between 4 or up to 5 different people, depending on how the area was surveyed, all will have to be present and their determination would be final. So it doesn't need to get acrimonious. We've heard of stories where people hack each other to death because of boundary disputes, which is completely unnecessary. Simply have a sit down with your neighbors affected. If you can't agree, get the government involved, and that can be amicably sorted out. I hope that helps. If you have any questions or comments to make, please feel free to reach out. You can do so through our YouTube channel. You can send us an email through our website, www.goshenacquisitions.com, and we'll be more than happy not only to engage with you, but even make some recommendations on what surveyors to use. You're watching On Land in Kenya. I'm Solomon Wangwe. Stay tuned for more information on strategic land investment.